Okay, not a lot to talk about, seeing as we did not have a game last week, so other than this bye week, we had a good bye week. In a bye week, you wanted to accomplish two things. You want to get your players rested up a little bit, get them some bumps and bruises healed up, and at the same time work on your deficiencies. So it's a balance of downtime with on the field time. I think we did a good job with that. We got a lot accomplished, and now we're back into game week mode, obviously today being treated as a Wednesday, and so we're looking forward to the contest on Thursday. So that's where we're at.
Questions, Coach Whittingham?
Kyle, you've made some depth chart changes, mainly on the offensive line at right guard. Iono will get the start for you.
Yeah.
What have you seen at it? Has this been a matter of trying a different combination?
The guy's going down. We've lost 3 guards now. Sam Brenner moved to left tackle, so that was one guard that was down to Vincent Jones and Latu Miller, both be unavailable this week. So necessity. Next guy up is Siosi. So that's the reason for that.
Do you feel like he's only, I think, played 20 snaps or something for you?
So he'll get about 70 this week, so he'll quadruple his output. But Steve's best guy, and we have confidence. We have a freshman right tackle and a freshman right guard now, so we're going to step up to the plate. We're ready to go.
With that being said, too, you've made you've juggled a few things on the defensive side of the depth chart too. Jacoby Hale, Victor Spikes, who weren't there a couple of weeks ago, a couple of very athletic guys who I know you've been high on. What's their ascent? How has their ascension come about?
Well, they both run so well and have both improved, over the last 3 or 4 weeks. And Jacoby played a pretty good football game against Arizona State. He had a lot of time against Arizona State, as did Victor, and they both warranted us, putting more reps into them. And so they're both going to be playing this week, and hopefully we'll make a better defense.
Questions?
What did you see, Kyle, that Stanford did that made you guys can have success against USC?
Well, first of all, Stanford's front 7 played exceptional, and mainly the front 4. They really controlled the line of scrimmage, which was surprising. I didn't think anybody could do that to USC, but they did it, and really dominated the front. Secondary played exceptionally well. In addition to the corners in particular, they did a nice job redirecting receivers and playing good physical corner play. There a lot of cover 2, roll up corner schemes, but that was really the biggest thing that was the biggest factor in the game, was the way the Stanford defense played.
Do you think USC has any one player on their D-line that you'd compare to Will Sutton at Arizona State?
They've got a lot of good players. Will Sutton's a heck of a ball player at Arizona State, and between him and Starr, 2 best defensive linemen most likely in the conference. I believe Starr's the best personally, but they're very talented on defense at USC. They're talented in every position. There's no position where they have any weakness, but they're not. They don't have great size on the defensive line. They have great athleticism. They have 1 300-pounder, but the rest of the guys are not as big as some of the defensive lines that we'll face, but very, very talented.
Kyle, can you make USC one-dimensional, or do you start with Barkley and try to negate him, or where do you attack a team that's loaded everywhere?
Yeah, they're so explosive. That's the thing that really jumps out. I mean, between Woods and Lee, the receiving corps is as good as there is in the country. Those guys have big play capabilities. The backs are good. Did a nice job for them, especially the transfer from Penn State, Silas Red, I think his name is number 25. But I don't think you can make. They work hard not to be one-dimensional. I can tell you that. They're very committed to running the ball as well as throwing it. They don't want to just become a one-dimensional team. They do a good job in their play calling towards that end. And so, every single week, our first objective defensively is to try to control the run game. And that will be no different this week. But like I said, they do a good job of making a concerted effort to run the football week in and week out. But then they have one of the best passers in the country to complement that.
Coach, they were extremely talented last year, and you went to the Coliseum and went toe-to-toe with them. How does that experience going into this year, having them at home, help, or does it play a factor at all?
Well, I think it helps, having some familiarity with their program and their players, and most of the guys we're playing with this year were in that game, to a certain extent. And so I think that can be looked upon as a positive, although each year is its own separate entity and set of circumstances. But certainly going down there and having a good showing, although we came up short, could be a positive for us.
Questions?
6 of the 12 ranked. You ever seen anything like that or been involved in a conference to that depth?
Not yet. No, I don't remember that in the Mountain West. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. But yeah, it's a very competitive conference. I've said that from day one. And our transition into the conference isn't a one-year deal. It's a process, and we're going through that process. And it's very competitive. Like I said, we expected that. It's not that we didn't expect.
How does Matt Barkley that you scouted a year ago compare to the Matt Barkley that you scouted this year?
Same guy.
Tremendous. Different in any way?
Not really. He's very consistent. Although the Stanford game was probably the game that I'm sure he would want to have back, and some of the decisions he made are not typical Matt Barkley decisions in the Stanford game. But he is a tremendous player. He's a surefire first-round draft choice. Probably the first 5 picks, maybe the first pick. Who knows? See how things shake out. But he's a talented kid, and he's one of the best in the country. And it was the same thing last year. We saw the same thing out of him last year.
More questions?
And in terms of how they use Barkley in their offensive scheme, what do you like about what they do in terms of how hard it is to stop?
Well, he's surrounded by such great players. I mean, he's a great player in and of himself, but you surround him with the great wide receivers I mentioned, the backs, the tight end who was a true freshman last year, is 1 year more experienced and more productive than he was last year. And so, plus they've got a very good offensive front they put, to protect him and to get the run game underway. So he's he's just a great player, and he gets the thing that really impresses me as much as anything is the quickness of which he gets the ball out of his hand. He's tough to sack. In fact, you can be unblocked, and more times than not, he's going to beat you with the ball. He's going to get the ball out of his hand before you can get there, and that's a quality they really put a premium on at the next level, and that's why I think he's going to be so valuable at the next level.
With the explosiveness of SC, the importance of having a healthy Joe Kruger and Eric Rowe back in the lineup this week.
Yeah, Joe's still questionable, and so we don't get into details like I said, weeks past, but we hope to have Joe. We definitely will have Eric, so that's a positive for us to get Eric back 100%.
Is there a lot of carryover from last year, what you guys did? You had 1 interception on Barkley. You really should have had 2, that pick 6 that you guys...
Yeah, as a carryover, well, like I said, there's a certain positive to having the experience of playing him last year, but again, this year is much different than last year. The makeup of each team is a little bit different, so I'm not sure if it'll have a bearing or not, but you're right, we did. I think we covered some fumbles last year too. I think we had 2 or 3 takeaways, which really helped our cause.
Kyle, I know going into the preseason at the meetings and that, there was a lot of talk about this game being one of the big games of the year. Are people writing both these teams off too early right now in Utah and USC?
Well, I hope not. We only have 1 conference game, and ourselves, and they're. I don't think you can ever write USC off. I mean, they've got so much talent that can never be the case. And so, I think certainly, the season first of all is very young, and the conference aspect of the season is just getting underway. So, a lot of things can transpire.
Coach, do you think those John White fumbles were just kind of a fluke? I mean, he doesn't put 2 on the ground in any game. And
Yeah.
what has been done to help correct that?
Well, we're hoping it was a fluke, and that's my take on it. He's been a very reliable ball carrier. Doesn't fumble in games, doesn't fumble in practice, and so we're going to chalk that up to just one bad night. Hopefully, he'll bounce back and be ready for this week.